This is the first week of lifting after the powerlifting meet on May 5th. This takes us from May through May 13th. Not a bad workout today. We took some small jumps to see where I was at. And I worked my way up to 355 for a single. 350 got a little off track, but I still pulled it through. Really not a fan of this angle that I chose for this. It blocks a whole lot of the view of myself as well as the spotter. I go for 4 on this and miss the 4th. There really was no plan for how many to hit. And my final set, 285, I pulled 10 out of it. I don't have any recording of Ryan's workout, but he went back to higher reps. Hit 180 for 10, 195 for 5, and either 205 or 210 for a triple. We both agreed that Wednesday after the meet was too soon to start benching again. Okay, we pick up with a deadlift, which is 5 days after the meet. Also a little too soon. Ryan doesn't do too bad here. 265, forgets that he's doing a double. And back in for the second rep. Follows up with a 295, a 315, and then is unable to pull off a 325. Again, proving we were doing this a little bit too soon. And that's all she wrote. Alright, 315 triple. Be followed by a 365, 395, and a 425 single. At the point of 395, it felt rather heavy. And 425 felt pretty darn heavy. Figured it was time to call it quits. After I finish up, we'll have some footage of Justin. He's come a long way really fast. He works his way up to 350. The only catch is he pulls entirely all back. I pull with too much back. Ryan pulls with too much back. Justin definitely pulls with too much back, but we'll develop that over time. Work on some sets at some lower weight and gear him up and get him ready. But just a phenomenal lift here for him. So Justin, in the course of about 7 lifts, has gone clean up to 350. Last week he pulled 300. Plan for this week was 315, and he took it all the way to the top. The week before that was 260, so it's making exceptional gains. And here comes that 350 rep. Next week we'll put a little more work at the bottom, practice some form a little, and we'll top out with a 355 or a 360. Alright, so show a little bit of our accessory work. Ryan's doing some shrugs here. His last set for 185. And I work myself up by plates. Here's my 4-plate set. And my 5-plate set. Didn't have it in me to go for 10 today. And some lat pulls. Ryan's doing 100. I think that's a little heavy for him, but he does a perfectly fine job, and amazing the development he's starting to get on his back here, so I felt the need to zoom in a little. And on with my lat pulls. We each pulled 4 sets. Ryan may have done 3. I pulled 125 for the rest of my sets. The 135 was a mistake. And switch over and just pulling the shoulders back. Work the rhomboid muscles out a little bit. Alright, picking up with Sunday and Monday's workouts. Ryan squatted on Sunday. This was going to be 215 for 5. Yeah, it might actually be 205. We're going to do 205, 215, and 225 for 5. Gets 4 and decides that's enough. Take a rest, save it up. Been kind of a hectic week. Looking at his stance, I think we need to widen his feet a little bit, get him a little more stability. And we pick up with my squats on Monday. Show my last couple sets, 365 for a single. And I was looking for a decent 5 that would test me. Chose 395 for 5. Instead I get 4, call it quits. Might have had 5 in me, but I forgot to raise the pins up, and I'd hate to dump a bar that far down, so after the second and third rep I have Ryan move the pins up for me, and maybe I'd have got it, maybe not, but I call it quits. Alright, this is our back workout for Monday. Ryan did about 6 sets or so, and worked his way up as far as he could underhanded, and then flipped overhanded. I believe he did 3 sets with 115, showing one set underhanded, which may be 115, and a set overhanded, which was. And here's something kind of funny to look at. We're so used to benching, this is near impossible for us to overhead press and incline press. But here's Ryan with a overhead press. With the arch put in there, it looks more like an incline bench. It's a seated overhead. Big challenge to try to put the bar up and down and not stick it out in front of you after doing so much benching. I expected to do much better, but I pulled 135 for 5. And here's something we played around with. I chose to call them incline dumbbell rows. Really not sure about the proper name. Found that it hits the lats and the traps differently whether you put your elbows inward or outward. So I got a little bit of both going on. A little bit of just playing around and getting a feel for it. I started with some 25s and Ryan started with some 12s. Both agreed it gave a heck of a workout to our backs, although not really feeling sore from it the next day. I guess that's a good thing. Next up, we set the bench lower, turning to more of an incline bench. And it gets really awkward trying to find the right settings for the pins and the pegs and how to hand off comfortably. But Ryan presses 75 for 6 reps. Same thing, kind of awkward and tough for us, but over time this will improve. Probably over a short period of time this will improve for us. We'll see if it has any ill effects on our Wednesday benches too. And a 135 for 5 for me. If I remember correctly, I did 185 for a single and then dumped the weight back down to 135 for a set. Obviously I need to get a longer shirt for these sessions too. Alright, we switch here to front and side dumbbell raises. Footage gets a little choppy with Ryan here because he'll do a little and kind of feel around for where he's feeling it. Do a couple more, kind of test and feel around. I don't think Ryan's overly crazy about this one. So towards the end, he'll switch to standing front and side dumbbell raises. I continue to do them on the bench. All in all, this was a pretty fun week. We started off too quick, too soon, too heavy after doing a full powerlifting meet. But we had a little bit of fun playing around with some accessory work and goofing off a little bit. Had a few sessions where it was just me and Ryan by ourselves, and we had a little fun with that as well. So we'll pick up next week, heavier on reps, and have a little more fun as we prepare for Ryan's next meet.